My name is John Reid, Sub-Lieutenant RA and VR. We're on our way to UK, having just left New York, and that's the skyline you see. Very, very different now days, but we were aboard the Queen Mary taking troops, quite a few American troops, 5,000 or 10,000, and it was interesting because each of us naval officers were given command of a boat for boat drill, and we had to move our American soldiers, and it took some time to get them stationed, as they're being quite unfamiliar with normal naval commands. And here we are just in UK. As you can see, balloons there for protection against aircraft bombing and low-level bombing. Portsmouth harbour taken from Dolphin at HMS Dolphin, which is the depot for naval submarine training, and all sorts at this stage of vessels entering, and this is shortly after, as you can appreciate, D-Day. So there was intense activity in a very old part of Portsmouth, in some of the very older sea walls there. All sorts of vessels, PTBs. I'm not sure of the identity of this one. They look like single guns there, and not the twin 4.7s that we would be using aboard Napier and N-class and J-class. That perhaps is an American destroyer or frigate by the look of the funnel. And during our submarine course at Blockhouse, we had to do all manner of training. This is training in DSEA. Well, this is not training in DSEA, this is letting off steam during the course, which is DSEA being the Davis Submarine Escape Apparatus, which we have to do to escape from a submarine if its circumstances permit. And on passage, that's the Maclean castle. It's the stronghold of the Maclean clan on the, I think from memory, the Isle of Islay in Western Isle, Scotland. In winter, as you can see, and also very old film. Very tight areas. We were running and training there with a dummy snorkel rig for the Air Force to practice approaches with varying heights above sea level of the snorkel rigged on radar only for bombing runs, and so we were practicing with them. This is a U-class astern of us. We were together at that stage, but you can see the intense water movement in the straits of Corryvreckan with whirlpool eddies, so you had to keep your wits about you in steering because they were very narrow passages, and you had to maintain your position with marker buoys either side of the channel. After a refit, this is Unsparing, U-class submarine, about 700 tons. They always do a basin dive just to check that everything is correctly put together, all systems, hydraulic, air, electric, etc. So they're tested just sitting on the bottom in the dock area there, going through the boat from forward to aft, checking everything, and then a rise up, etc. And then, of course, there are further trials at sea. I was torpedo officer aboard Unsparing at this stage. Here we are in Scapa Flow alongside HMS. She was the depot ship. Damn cold, as you can see. Our CO was John Fenton in the centre, Lieutenant RN, and the First Lieutenant Harry Straw is on this side, and another Australian on the far side. This is all for the benefit of my movie taking. As you can see, they're just standing on the deck alongside the 4-inch gun. This is looking down on the bridge, top of the conning tower. You can see the forward scope, periscope, and the after one. And the snorkel is not rigged, that's further astern, you can't see that. And this is coming down to the Western Isles further down. We were making our way to Tobermory, and I think we certainly had time in Rothsey and the depot ship there, which was Cyclops. Pretty cold, but very attractive. And you can see the narrow width of the channel, so you didn't have much to spare in going through between some of these islands in the Western Isles. I think I was pretty lucky to get some colour film at this stage. I'd forgotten about that. And this is just looking down aft from the conning tower, from the bridge, and it's typical of U's and V class. Very important class for operation in the Mediterranean area. Did wonderful work there, about, as I mentioned, about 700 tonnes. In company with larger ones, O class, mine layers, and T class, of course. Diesel's going. And you can see the 4 planes housed or upright, and of course they're lowered for depth control with the after planes in diving position. This is Rothsey, that is Cyclops, the depot ship, with various submarines or boats as they're referred to in submarine jargon, not ships. I can't recall which class they were, probably S's, and that's a T class there, I think, ahead, which is rather larger. There'd be S boats and T's and U's. And some of our submariner friends, again still at Rothsey, all rigged up for the cold. That's Unsparing, and this, as I recall, is in Tobermory, taken from the Western Isles Hotel. That's Unsparing, and we just had a trot movement or moving position from one to another buoy. And that is the dummy snorkel that's rigged there, you can see sticking up. So we used to go up and down, exposing various heights above seawater of this for the Air Force to practice their runs in and drop practice bombs with the first and last one. Marking a little smoke bomb form just to give an indication of the success or otherwise in obtaining a straddle for bombing practice.